Prosecutors play a major role in the criminal justice system. Sometimes called U.S. or district attorneys or solicitors, they are powerful arbiters of the law. So the question becomes, how are they held accountable? Some say they're not.
There is no question that prosecution's power right now is in some instances at an all-time high. At the same time, there is virtually little and sometimes no ability to hold a prosecutor accountable.
Brett Tolman, a former U.S. attorney for Utah, sees a major fracture in the system when it comes to prosecutors.
When you have great power, little accountability, and a culture of win at all costs, you are going to see misconduct. You're going to see abuse.
Duffy Stone disagrees. He's the solicitor for South Carolina's 14th Judicial Circuit.
Number one, we have a lot of judicial oversight. If I'm prosecuting a criminal, it is literally impossible for me not to do that without having a judge of some level oversee what I'm doing.
He also says defense attorneys are not shy about calling out prosecutors in court, that the National District Attorneys Association polices its own, and ultimately, many DAs are elected.
The obvious is you don't get reelected. I mean, we are elected by the public just like any other executive branch officer, and we are directly answerable to the people.
But it doesn't always work that way. And the lack of oversight disproportionately affects the poor and people of color. Consider Mississippi prosecutor Doug Evans. He tried this man, Curtis Flowers, 6 times for the same crime, keeping Flowers behind bars for more than 2 decades.
Doug Evans was just a racist. He just focused on me and locked on to me and would not let go.
The repeated prosecutions were for the 1996 murders of 4 people at a Winona, Mississippi furniture store. 4 of Flowers' trials were overturned on appeal, one by the U.S. Supreme Court. The 2 others ended in mistrials. Flowers always maintained his innocence. During the course of the trials, Evans dismissed black jurors at more than 4 times the rate of whites, creating majority white juries.
Doug was using every strike he had against African Americans. Mm-hmm. And the only time he couldn't is when he ran out. But it was a nerve-wracking. It really was.
In 2020, the Mississippi Attorney General's office dismissed all charges against Flowers, setting him free. As for Evans, he ran unopposed and was reelected to another 4-year term as chief prosecutor in 2019. According to the State Bar Association, he's faced no sanctions.
What you have is a systemic problem. And that is prosecutors have incredible immunity for what they do. They can make bad decisions.
I don't know of any single occupation that is without some bad people and some people that make horrible decisions.
But when prosecutors make bad decisions, they make an impact on lives and weaken the system.
By the deliberate intent of the prosecution to cheat and violate the law. And the discrimination of the jurors was only one strategy.
Tolman feels a lack of accountability applies to prosecutors at all levels. For example, he says federal prosecutors are not subject to the state bars where they practice. They can only be held accountable through the Department of Justice's Office of Professional Responsibility, which does not take referrals from defense attorneys. Even on the state level, prosecutors can usually escape discipline from the state bar by invoking prosecutorial discretion.
Until prosecutors know they can not only lose the case, but they can also be held accountable personally, we will not see the justice system deal with abuse that's going on by prosecutors.
Tolman adds 2 things need to happen in order to address this problem. 1, immunity statutes need to be updated, making it easier to discipline prosecutors. And 2, judges need to be more empowered to not just dismiss evidence, but to hold prosecutors personally accountable when need be. In Washington, Eric Phillips, CBN News.